This is a tutorial on how to build an Algorand web app without knowing how to code. The purpose of this tutorial is to show a very easy way to get started building apps on Algorand. And so I'm going to have a few helper files that you can add to your project, and I'll show you how to use AI to help generate web components for your app. So to get started, you're going to have to download a couple things from the internet. One of them is Node.js. So you'll just go to nodejs.org, click Get Node, and download the package for your operating system. So I have Windows, so I'll download the one for Windows. And once you download it, you'll have to go through this setup wizard, and after that it should all be installed on your computer. So I already have it installed, so I'm not going to go through that. The next thing you should download is Visual Studio Code, which is just a nice text editor for you to build your web app in. So you can just go to their site and download it. So then once you have both of those installed, I would make a folder on your desktop or somewhere on your computer. I'm just going to call it code, just to have a nice place to store all your project files. And so we're going to open up Visual Studio Code and go to File, Open Folder, and then Desktop Code. Open that up. And so now to create your project, you're going to go up here, open a terminal, and you're going to type in here npx create-next-app, and then the name of your app. So we're going to, in this tutorial, we're going to be building a really simple donation app. So we'll say donate app. And so we see here, the console said donate app is not allowed because it can't have capital letters. So we'll say donate app, all lowercase. And so we'll go say no customized settings, and we'll say no TypeScript, no linter, no React, compiler. Pretty much just going to say no on everything. And so you just arrow to the option you want to select and click enter to select. And so now it's building a folder in your code folder that has all your project files. So right here we can see that in code it built this donate app folder, which has all your files for your web app. And so now what we need to do is we need to go to this GitHub repository. And so I can link this in the description, but this will have some of the starter files that you'll want for your project. And pretty much it doesn't have a whole lot in it. It just has some wallet connect packages in here. Just a nice basic wallet connect module that you can use in your app so that people can connect their wallet and sign transactions in your app. So what we're gonna do here is in your donated app folder, we'll say new folder. We'll call this components. And we'll make a file called connect.js. So in components, we'll make connect.js. And then we're going to just take everything that's in the connect.js on GitHub and just copy it into your project, connect.js. And it looks like from this display that components isn't in donate app, so I'll go ahead and drag that into there. And so other things we're going to do is we're going to go to pages and we're going to copy what we have in app.js on the Discord and copy that and paste that into what we have in your underscore app.js in your project folder. And then we'll go back and in index.js we'll copy that and paste that into your index.js folder. And then I think the last thing we need is what we have in this package.json. So we'll copy that too, and in here, in your project, package.json, we'll copy that into there. And this just has all the packages you need to use Algorand in your web app, such as the Wallet Connect packages and Algo SDK. It has Firebase too, but I don't think we'll get to that in this video. That would be if you want to host your app or use some of the Firebase services such as database storage and authentication and some other nice features you might want to have in your web app. And so now what we'll do is we'll go down to the terminal and we can see this path. That's the path we're executing commands in. So right now we're in that code folder, but we're going to want to cd, so let's change our directory to the donate app folder that was created. So we'll cd there. So now it says we're in donate app, and we're going to say npm I, and what that does is that installs all the packages that you have in your package.json. So now we're going to have to let this cook for a little bit. It takes a little while for it to get all these packages into your project folder. And then I wouldn't worry about any of these warnings. I don't think they should affect you in any way. So once that's finished, we're going to type in npm run dev, and that's going to start up a server for your web app that you have in here, and it'll run these files in your project folder. So we'll go back to our web browser and we're going to type in localhost 3000. And so that's going to pop up the stuff you have in your project folder. And so we see that we have the wallet connect stuff up here at the top. And all that is what this connect.js is running. We can see in this app.js that this runs first, so it returns these elements, and how this is set up is that it'll show the connect module or the connect component on every page of your website, essentially. So we can see in pages we have this index.js. Index.js in pages just means that it will render at the root of your directory. We can see that all this is doing is displaying a hi, and we can see that down here. But if we go to a different page, like cats, we can see that nothing renders because it's trying to render cat.js, but we don't have a cat.js in pages. So we'll go back to home. And so the first thing we're going to do here is we're going to go to chat GPT, and we're going to play around with how we can use AI to style our components in our project. So we'll go to connect, and we'll delete that because we're not using it. And what we're going to do is we're going to copy this whole thing. So Command C or Control C and paste it into here. So this AI has the code for your file, and then we're going to tell it to style this component. So this connect.js is a React component, so we're saying style this component so that it has a cat theme. Use cat language and be supportive of black and orange cats. So this is where you can be kind of creative, because you're just using plain English to tell the AI what you want. And there's the way we've prompted it, there's kind of a lot of ambiguity to it. So if you want it to look more of a specific way, then you can be more specific with how you describe how you want it to look. But basically you're just using plain English to tell it what you want it to look like. And since it has all the code, it'll keep the functionality of this component the same, but it will change essentially just how it looks. So you have to give it a little time to generate. So we'll copy that, and so now we'll paste that in place of our connect.js. And we'll go back, and this is what it came with. So, it's pretty random, you can see that it's kind of cat themed, talks about cats, has black and orange cats, kind of like we mentioned. And right now I'm connected with this address, so we'll say disconnect, connect, and so it still has all the same functionality that we had in the previous component, but it just kind of changed how it all looks. So I'll connect another wallet, and now I'm connected to this wallet. And this might not be what you want for your app, but it's what you it kind of shows you how you can style your components and not have to write all this code by hand. You can see what code was generated, and you don't necessarily need to understand this code to still use it and build apps with it. And so what we're going to do next is we're going to go back to the AI, and we wanted to build a donate app. So with this, we're going to have to be a little bit more specific. So we'll say, I want to have a donate React component that has a button. So we all know a button that you can press, that when you press it, it prompts the connected wallet to donate 1 algo to the address. And we'll just use this address. So to this address, and then another thing you might want to do is give it the packages that you're using. So we're using use algo SDK, and we'll give it this wallet package, so it knows that we need to use that package to sign the transaction. And we won't really tell it about styling yet, because sometimes I feel like it's better to just get the functionality down and then worry about styling after that. So we'll let that kind of think for a little bit. So it's generating a component, and sometimes you have to give it a little time because it generates it line by line. So if you scroll to the bottom, you can see that it's done. So what we'll do is we'll copy this and paste it into our index.js. And then if we go back to our app, since we're at this root directory, I think we have to call this index. Okay, well, what we'll try to do is we'll say we'll use the AI to try to debug this. So we'll say, since it just generated that component, it'll have this in its context. So pretty much we just pasted the error in there. So it's saying so what we'll do is we'll just, we're not really thinking about the code, so we're just going to be like, okay, hopefully it solved it for us. So we'll copy it and paste it in there. And we'll reload this page. Okay, and it looks like that worked. So donate 1 algo, donations go here, donate 1 algo. So that's working now. And one thing that I have noticed that the AI does is it says from and to here, and what should be is sender, receiver. And I think it's because the AI might be trained on older versions of Algo SDK. So occasionally it'll get that wrong if it's not completely up to date. But if you run into errors, I would just rely on the AI. You could just see what the error message you're getting is, and then paste it into the AI, see what it says. It might just regenerate the file for you, and hopefully you're good to go. So what we'll do is we'll try to see if this works. Okay, so we click that, and it's prompting my Para wallet. So we'll say accept. All right, and it looks like it worked. So transaction ID, we'll check this out. So I just sent, since I was connected with that at the same address, it basically just sent one algo to itself. And then, yeah, so we have the functionality down. So since this already has, it already knows the component. So if I tell it to just style it, so style the component. And, with AI, you don't necessarily have to spell everything right. And then also, it's almost like you're having a conversation. So if it's like, if I just say the component, it's going to just assume that I'm talking about the last thing we talked about. Otherwise, you can just paste in the component into the input and then tell it what to do. So say style the component with a dark coin theme. The theme should be mysterious and eerie and crescent moon and Egyptian. So we'll just kind of see what it does here. So right now we have a pretty plain donate component here, but we're gonna see what it can do for us. So copy, paste. So this is what it came up with. Yeah, it looks like it included a little eye for like the Egyptian thing. Address must not be null. Okay, so what happened is, because I changed it, this from and to, so I did change it from, that's where it gets that wrong. So it should be sender and receiver. It's because I changed it, but then I prompted it to just, what it had was it had what it generated before without the changes, so it regenerated it without the changes. So if you make any changes, you should just copy and paste it in fresh from what you had with all the changes. And so we'll just confirm that. Okay, so that worked. And so what I want to do this time, let's copy this whole thing and paste it in so it keeps those changes. And then what I want to try is I want it to create a confetti explosion when there is a donation made. The confetti should cover the whole screen. So we'll do that, and we'll give that some time to generate. And so what if you want to follow and do this yourself, then I would suggest that you just kind of play around with the AI and just play around with the styling, and then depending on your ideas, you can try to generate functional components of like how you want your website to work. And this tutorial just covers some basic Algorand functions, such as connecting a wallet to the web app and signing transactions in the web app. It's just a basic payment transaction, so there's a lot of other transactions like creating assets and creating applications. So in the future, we might get more into creating actual smart contracts so that you can really customize the way people can interact with different assets. But this is just to kind of get your feet wet and get you playing around with the AI and show you how you can build a web app in your browser and play around with it. And so here it says it's actually using a package on Node. So it says we have to install it. So we'll copy this npm. So right now we'll say Control C and then Y to quit out of the development server. So since that quit out, we can't. This isn't running anymore. But we do that so we can install the new package it wants us to install. So we'll say install that. And so now that that's installed, we'll say npm run dev again. So now it's started, so we'll load our app again. And so now what we'll do, so we installed the package and now it generated our component, so it's done generating, so we'll copy that and paste that in. And so what we'll do now is we'll try it out. So it kept everything looking the same, but we'll see if it added the confetti explosion. Oh, so it looks like it didn't change those, so we'll say sender. And if you ever get stuck, then feel free to reach out and send me what's going on and maybe your code file, and I might be able to help you figure out what's going wrong with it. So we changed that. Let's see. Let's try reloading this. Address must not be null. Okay. I think I might have just spelled receiver wrong there. We'll see if we can get um, that confetti explosion. Oh, yeah, it looks like we got like a nice little rain, confetti rain to happen. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it for this tutorial. I thought I'd try to share this so maybe to entice people that maybe don't want to learn all the complexities of coding, but they want to still try to build apps on Algorand. All this stuff is pretty basic, so but I think it's a good way to get your feet wet and kind of get used to using some of these tools to build your web app. Um, yeah, like I said, it would be, yeah, if you ever have questions, feel free to reach out. And I do want to maybe do something where I'm just sitting there live and you can come to me with your questions and we can work through any errors that you have. Um, I think I think something like this would be nice because the more people building on Algorand, then it just kind of expands the ecosystem, and I think it'd be cool to just see more and more things that you can do using Algorand and um, different projects that people come up with. Like kind of yeah, be creative with all this stuff you can do in this like decentralized finance system. And there's a lot more to learn about like smart contracts, and you can go to like a much deeper level with all this stuff. But for now, I think it's good to just play around with the basic components and um, how to use AI to help you build things. And so yeah, thanks for watching if you made it this far, and yeah, I hope to see you again.